shall deceive. We have come into the night, thunder raising war a night. We have come into the night, thunder raising war a night.
Yeah.
I think the vibrations tune when we need them to. Doorways open for us. And we are all basically stumbling through this, looking around at weird signs going, something's going to happen. But in the same effect, that people have been programmed to not resist for so long. To as when we were kids, you know, a lot of us were in that sit down and shut up. Children are to be seen, not to be heard. You know what I mean? Leave the house, come back at sunset. If you need a drink, drink it out of the hose kind of mentality. We don't have that anymore. People are bubble wrapped. We've lived in an isolated society for coming on 30 years since the internet age happened. This weird movement of amoral lawsuits, of pure idiocy, like people spilling hot coffee on themselves and then suing the company that sold it to them. I mean,
and
there's
winning
just
too.
this decline in society's expectation of itself. And in that, nobody is responsible for their society anymore, right? We have set up government programs to appease people in so many ways that if it ever came to an end, 90% of people would literally starve to death in a matter of 2 months. And that's what we have to build back up, is a society of knowledgeable people that are willing to be self-sufficient a little bit more than the rest of society, to give a little care to their community and their fellow man, and to find a clan and kin and build with them towards something positive, not a militia to be destructive or to go out and riot, but a group of people to focus on positive things, survival, spiritual growth, spiritual enlightenment, mental knowledge, gaining just aspects of life that we have lost.
Yeah. Before I go over to Rachel and Chris real quick, I just a thing popped into my mind when you talked about those government projects, you know, trying to make everybody equal and whatever. The was it the Pixar movie, The Incredibles? The bad guy Syndrome, I believe his name was. He like he wanted to give everybody superpowers because like if everybody is special, no one is, or if everybody is super, then no one is. And that just it just popped into my mind when you said that. You know, we're trying so hard to make everybody equal and everybody the same, but like we'll
Not
never.
equal anymore. It's equity.
Oh yeah,
Everybody to
yeah.
have the same equity, which doesn't make sense socially. So
No.
they're trying to create a social system for something that is no social function other than basically a lead weight around the neck of society.
Yeah, but Rachel, you have something on this.
Yeah, yeah, it all ties in really well together. You know, it is this graying out of things. You know, they talk about gray aliens. I think that's really alien meaning just foreign invader. Let's call that. Get, you know, weird things out of your head for just a second. They could be weird. I'm open to that. But a gray invader is going to try to make you the same. It's going to try to make you the same as everybody else. That's what gray is, right? When you gray something out, you make it all the same. And, you know, to me, it seems like a lot of these in movies and all this stuff, there's all this idea of raising the Dark Lord, okay? Think about raising the Dark Lord. What does that even mean? It's not like it's gone. It's not like he's, you know, that's an illusion. But think about raising your vibration. Because even the dark has to evolve too. Even the dark evolves. Even the dark can grow. That's, you know, I think that's why we're seeing the black sun come back out. whether it's an actual literal figure, maybe it's a black hole. Think about the dark and the deep. The only cosmology I've come in reading anything about that is Gaul, is the French Celts. And they knew themselves to be the sons of the dark. And the dark wasn't evil, wicked badness. That's not what dark meant. That it meant literal. Like we came from the earth, we came from the darkness, we came from that.
Yeah.
They recognized themselves as coming from Gunungagap.
Dark
Other cultures
soil.
have these words. Yeah, they're like, we know that's where we're from. That's our home. So I think we're seeing that resurgence because there does need to be that balance and that interplay. And a lot of you'll hear me say it a lot because I walk the middle path, because I believe we are meant to be the middle path. And you will have people who walk in the middle path prefer more light or they prefer more dark. And I think that's natural. But what all of these entities try to do is force you to choose. They get you into a mode where they force you to choose a polarity rather than letting synergy occur.
Yeah,
So
no,
that's
the middle path. I mean, I explained in a like just a short podcast that I did by myself. That's literally where the or part of the name of the tribe comes from. The Greyhorn, gray, because personally I've always
Neutrality.
yeah, well, no, not necessarily neutrality, but more I for the longest time at least, I'm kind of turning more towards the light now, thanks to thanks to Keely as well, but always kind of walked the fine line in between darkness and light. So I always considered myself kind of gray because I can like function in the dark and survive in the dark, and I can do some light work, just not like one or the other. Like it's both. So the middle path, the gray path.
I look at that like have you ever seen a sound line, a sound wave, right? The vibration up and down from the center line, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like our human vibrations have been getting to be a narrower and narrower band of the wave, right? We used to walk with our feet wider, a little more into the light, a little more into the dark, but we attempted to stay out of conflict on either side. You know what I mean? Not necessarily neutral, but peaceful. You know what I mean? It is a goal to be peaceful when possible, right?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to war all the time or war unnecessarily. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to laze about all the time because that creates absolute depression, right? We have to have some type of balance to it.
Yeah.
And I think humanity's vibration, like he said earlier with the Schumann resonance, I think that is picking up again. And if you look at Game of Thrones, okay, the Song of Ice and Fire, right? It's the tale of balance, but all of the sudden, when the balance needs to be restored, magic starts to come back out. We're starting to widen that vibratory path on a need, right?
Yeah.
We need more stability, so we act more aggressively in one direction or another to bring that stability back, to balance the scales again. That's a good way to, like Tears rune, okay? I look at Tears rune, the Tiwaz rune, like I know it is not a scale of balance, right? But you look at it as a line in the middle, and
So,
you
like
have
this guy right here in my
yes,
background.
yes, that guy, the rune on his head.
Yeah.
It's an arrow facing upward with a balance coming off to each side, right? You can look at it as a spearhead or many different things, and it's interpreted in different faiths to represent different things, right? Justice, a guiding star, but it's usually some form of balance or guidance
A guiding
to
star.
reset the system.
Yeah.